Well, it's a Sunday, and there's a lot to talk about in the news. Senator Lindsey Graham, I think he's a Republican senator. He died earlier today. And here in Jamaica, Dean Peart has also passed on. Dean Peart is the Member of Parliament for the constituency in Manchester, where the son of Peter Phillips is, Michael Phillips. So that's quite a loss. The United States lost um, Senator Lindsay, and Jamaica losing Peart. I see that the People's National Party is having its challenge challenges. Um, Mr. Vaz, he has resigned from the shadow cabinet. You know, don't don't listen to what you hear in the news. There is many a sip between the cup and the lip. But if you stay tuned to the politics matter, Jamaica, we'll bring it to you. The real news behind this, Mr. Vaz's resignation from the shadow cabinet. The PNP is going to implode, you know. But they don't have no leadership. The leadership of the PNP is weak. Mr. Golin is supporting new breed. He's a new breed man, so he's not going to do well at all. But before I go over to YouTube, the Nurses Association of Jamaica, um, their president had a meeting with the Prime Minister, and I thought I think
Nurses generally.
her performance was disgraceful. I think the nurses want they should look another president. This lady's behavior is very, very poor. Listen to the exchange between the Prime Minister and hi Roxanne and the nurses president.
But I believe we produce enough to meet our demand if we could retain our nurses. That's the sense I get. I'd love to hear your perspective.
In December of 2025, we would have registered 361 nurses. So you go to school for 4 years, you do your hospital examination, you are successful, but that doesn't make you a nurse yet. You must do the nursing council examination. Now, the nursing council is our licensing body.
Professional.
Right.
Professional stage of the training.
Right. So they are then required to do the regional examination for nurse registration, commonly known as the RNR. That they have to pass that exam to practice as a registered nurse. So you can have a bachelor's of science degree in nursing, but you can't practice nursing. Because if the council does not permit you or register you, you can't work. We would have graduated 361 RNs last year. And
This is at the professional level.
yeah, none of those persons are yet employed.
That's strange.
And it's not strange, it happens every year.
It is said we have a shortage of nurses.
Right.
Well, let me not say nurses. Let me say there's a shortage of professionals in the
Yes.
system. But then you have people who are not engaged. And so I'm curious, why is that?
The HR policies of the Ministry of Health and Wellness are a challenge for nursing.
What are the HR policies? What is that? Explain to me. I don't know enough about
All right,
the
so in
intricacies of the
HR,
profession. So
many moons ago when I was employed as a registered general nurse, when we were placed, you went to the ministry, you get your letter and you go down to the ministry and you're assigned. Because when we did the exam, we had to say where we want to work. They don't must get it, but you put it down there. Because I wanted to work.
By the way, in a few days' time, hopefully, we're going to be able to show you the video right here on this channel. We're going to be here building this new channel. So stay with us and support us here. We'll be able to show you the video soon. All right. So right now we can only do audio. We just a start. Come, we just a come. Come, we are come. And we come in hotter and stronger. We're down, but we're not out. Let's listen to the nurses president. What a disgrace. What a disgrace for our president. This woman here, you remember Edith Allwood Anderson? Huh? You remember Miss Anderson? How she went down to the parliament and attacked the prime minister? This lady's behavior is shameful. Shameful. She have no regard for the prime minister. She was there promoting herself. She should be ashamed of herself. I am telling the nurses in Jamaica, get rid of this woman. Get rid of this woman. This woman don't stand. This woman is not speaking up for you. Get rid of her. Listen to her.
Important to know, I don't reach up there yet. But you were assigned, and everybody who graduated was assigned. That no longer happens. Now, the current situation is that the HR management system is called the My HR Plus system. That system will not employ an individual if they are not able to align them to a post number. We don't have enough posts. That's the bottom line. It's a lot of semantics, but I'm just giving you a baseline. If you don't have a post number free, a person cannot be employed.
I've always been under the impression that we don't have enough healthcare professionals. We've recently...
We have never had enough, sir. And that is a reality.
Yes.
Time gone by, it would have been because we didn't train enough. Then we weren't training enough, but we're not paying enough, so people were leaving. And people are still leaving. Because I would have articulated in the local space that people don't leave for money only. People leave for opportunities.
Yeah.
And people leave for some basic things, sir. People leave. I have a child who is special needs. Jamaica can't help.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This woman. She's unpatriotic.
So I have to go to a country where I can work and send my child into a space that I know they are cared for and protected professionally. Jamaica doesn't offer that. So there are some things. I have my elderly parents who need additional health needs. They can't get that here. And that's the basic. There's the impression that compensation review would have made nurses stay. It hasn't made us stay. Those of us who don't have any ambition are still here, but it hasn't made us stay.
The nurses in Jamaica don't have no ambition. I wonder if you realize that she said that. The nurses, the hard-working nurses in Jamaica, the patriotic nurses are staying to take care of Jamaican patients because they don't have no ambition. This woman should resign, you know. This is demanding of a resignation. What a woman, abrasive. You know, the health sector crisis is a 30-year problem, you know. The 1990s under the PNP saw IMF austerity, wage freezes. Those nurses went through the wage freeze. Somebody can get this lady's name for me. I want to address her by her name. Hospitals underfunded, which initiated the mass migration of nurses This woman don't know what she's talking about. To the United States, to Canada. That's when the pipeline broke. You're sitting beside the man under whose leadership and government you, ma'am, is in a better position and could even chat like that. We trained, but we didn't retain. We didn't build the infrastructure. So to put this at the feet of the current government is philosophically dishonest. That's like blaming the firefighter for the fire that started 20 years ago. Andrew Holness didn't cause this problem. Andrew Holness is trying to fix the problem now. And you did not even acknowledge it. You are ungrateful, you are ungracious, and you're not a leader. You're not a leader. Fact of the matter is that the current administration inherited a system with structural deficit. Too few training slots, aging facilities, and a global market that pay nurses 4 times more than the Jamaican state is able to pay them. The compensation review was an attempt by Nigel Clark to close the gap. Why was the gap created in the first place, ma'am? Why was the gap created? Why did we allow such a gap, the disparity between the United States, Canada, the UK? Why was that gap created? Not because of the PNP, ma'am. Not because of the wage freeze in the 90s. What are you talking about, ma'am? You think Andrew Holness can wave a magic wand and correct the problems? Sound like a politician. You're a politician. Are you speaking for the nurses? Or are you speaking on behalf of a political party? Because we have to ask, You go on to talk about we didn't train enough. Then we are training enough, but we are not paying enough. Pay us more and we still leave. We're not training enough and we're not paying enough. How much is enough? How much is enough, ma'am? Talking rubbish. Audrey Marks just disclosed that she was offered $2 million United States dollars and she didn't accept it. How much is enough? How much would you pay? I mean, you compare Jamaica to the UK, Canada, and the United States. This president is up. What are you talking about? The answer becomes not enough. That's not policy proposal. That's an absence of satisfaction. That's what Adam Smith warned about, When aspirations has no end, no country can ever meet it. And then she goes on to talk about the special case universalized fallacy. She used 2 personal examples, special needs child and elderly parents, as if to argue national policy from 2 personal cases is to commit the fallacy of composition. Because it's true for me, it must be true for the system. The Jamaican state has to balance 3 million people. It cannot create a special place for nurses who have young children that have special needs and elderly parents. And then she says, she framed leave as the only moral choice for people with ambition. That's dangerous because it tells young nurses if you are good, you must go. That is going to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. The most ambitious leave. So the system never improves. So more leave. You know, in a democracy, advocacy is sacred. Nurses, teachers, and frontline workers have every right, indeed, every duty to press the government for better pay, better facilities, and better conditions. But there is a difference between advocacy and ambush. There is a difference between advocacy and ambush. There is a difference between representation and performance. And what that lady was doing was not representation. She was performing. The cameras were on her and she was performing. The exchange between the president of the Nurses Association of Jamaica and the Prime Minister raises a deep philosophical question. What is the purpose of representation? Is it to solve problems, or is it to be seen as one who called out power? Why is the video going viral? It's not because of the representation, it's because of the performance. Because from the tone, content, and timing of that address, I suspect she just wanted to embarrass the PM. And in doing so, she failed the very nurses that she claimed to represent. Her actions with the Prime Minister failed the nurses. If I were the Prime Minister, I wouldn't pay her any mind. My listeners, real representation begins with respect to the office and the people you serve. And when you stand before the Prime Minister, not many people in Jamaica get a chance to sit beside the Prime Minister. You're not just speaking as an individual. You are speaking for thousands of nurses who are still here. Thousands of nurses who are still working. Thousands of nurses who are still hoping for solutions. So to frame the entire profession as those of us who don't have any ambition are still here
Because
is a disgrace. Those of us who don't have any ambition are still here. So the nurses at Spanish Town Hospital, they don't have no ambition. The nurses at the Mandeville Public Maypen Hospital don't have any ambition. What an insult to the nurses. It insults the nurses who are here, ma'am. What do you mean? If those of us who don't have no ambition stay. What a crass, disrespectful statement that this woman is making. Psychologically, it creates learned helplessness. It tells young nurses that staying equals failure. And secondly, it insults the country. To suggest that Jamaica offers nothing for special needs children or elderly erases the progress at the Bustamante Hospital, early intervention centers, the PATH program, the geriatric services. They are not perfect, but they exist. Facilities exist in Jamaica for special needs children. I know that as a fact. They're not perfect. We're not a first world country. To deny that, it's not truth telling. It is selective storytelling now. This is a fallacy. It's a fallacy. So what you are saying, because your experience is bad, the entire system must be bad? That's not analysis. That is grievance. And I will say again that the health sector crisis did not begin last term. The mass exodus of nurses began in the 1990s under the IMF austerity and underfunding. That is when the training pipeline broke and the culture of train here, work abroad was cemented. To pretend this is a new problem is dishonest. Real representation would begin by saying, Mr. Prime Minister, we inherited a 30-year deficit. Here is where we have seen the progress. And here is where we need to go further. That approach builds trust and get results. All Ambush does is get clips and replays. The compensation review, new facilities, and expanded training slots are not enough, but they are something. To refuse to acknowledge any progress is to argue in bad faith. It tells the public, no matter what you do, it will never be enough. And that is not how you negotiate. That is how you posture. A true representative presents the interests of their people, not just their frustration. There are two models of leadership here, drawn from political psychology. The first one is the exit model. Things are bad, so I'm leaving. And you should too. This breeds despair and accelerates collapse. The second is the voice model. The voice model says things are hard, but we are staying to build. Here is what we need next. That is how institutions are reformed. This woman is bad for the nurses. She's not representing them. By saying the ambitious have left already, the president is endorsing the exit model. That's not leadership. That is surrender dressed as courage. The president of the Nurses Association of Jamaica is encouraging the nurses to leave. That is very bad. That is very bad. You are saying that the ambitious have left and those who are not ambitious have remained? What a statement. Real representation acknowledges reality in full and the gaps and the gains. It lobbies hard, but it does not humiliate. You can't humiliate the nurses, ma'am, by calling them, telling them that they don't have no ambition. To stay in Jamaica is not to have ambition. You're bright. The hard-working teachers, hard-working policemen and soldiers. What about the citizens of Jamaica? We don't have no ambition. You can't embarrass the nurses like that. And you're going to say it in front of the Prime Minister who signs off on the budget. But what you have done is harden the position of the nurses. You have not advanced their position. You are sitting in front of the Prime Minister, speaking to the Prime Minister like that, and you think that is going to help nurses' cause? You know, I understand the situation. The nurses, a lot of them have worked hard. Some of them would even say that they are overworked. Some of them may even say that they are underpaid relative to the world market. And many are making heartbreaking personal choices, and the pain is real. But pain does not automatically equal wisdom. And frustration does not automatically equal representation. I suspect she just wanted to embarrass the PM. If the goal was a viral attention, then she got that. You got your viral moment, ma'am. But if your goal was to better the conditions for your nurses, you failed miserably. Because real representation sounds quite different. It sounds like this. We see the steps taken. They are not enough. Here is our plan. Work with us. That's how adults build a country. Anything else is just performance. The nurses deserve better representation. Leadership is a trust. The job of a union association president is not to go viral. It is to get results. When you speak for 10,000 nurses, 3 questions must guide every word. Did I advance their interests? 1. Secondly, did I protect their dignity? 3rd, did I leave the door open for negotiation? And on all 3 counts, you failed. You did not advance the nurses' interests. You did not protect their dignity. And you did not leave the door open for negotiation. You did not advance the nurses' interest because to embarrass the person who signs the budget is bad strategy. Philosophy 101, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You hear that, ma'am? You were talking to the Prime Minister. You were not talking to a doctor or some other ordinary person. This is the man on whose side you need the nurses to be, or you need him on your side. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. And what you went there with is vinegar, sour. Government can't fix 30 years of health sector decay in one or 2 terms. But they can and have moved on to address the problems. Nurses are better paid today in Jamaica than ever before. They are better trained. They are better paid. A wise representative says, we see the progress. That gets you a seat at the table. But when you seek to ambush, all you get is clips and a closed door. You did not advance the nurses' interests. You did not protect their dignity. Because when you tell the public that those of us without ambition are still here, was a slap in the face of every nurse who stayed through COVID. Every nurse who trains students.
I have to say it like that because that is what some people
who work double shifts. Listen.
To tell us that we don't have any ambition, that's why we stay here. But we stay.
Because we don't have no ambition, that's why we stay.
Help me. So I have to go to a country where I can work and send my child into a space that I know they are cared for and protected professionally. Jamaica doesn't offer that. So there are some things. I have my elderly parents who need additional health needs. They can't get that here. And that's the basic. There's the impression that compensation review would have made nurses stay. It hasn't made us stay. Those of us who don't have any ambition are still here, but it hasn't made us stay. Because, I have to say it like that because that is what some people tell us, that we don't have any.
You did not protect the dignity. That's demoralization from the top. A leader should inspire, not insult the very people she represents. I know she was trying to be funny, trying to make a point. It's a terrible point. Those of us who don't have no ambition stay. You think it's ambition the others have why they leave, ma'am? You think it's ambition that drives them away? It's like saying the people who go on farm work have ambition and those who are here in Jamaica don't have ambition. And then her story about special needs care and elderly care is heartbreaking. And government must do better. But to say Jamaican can't help me ignores the progress we have made. Jamaica can't help special needs children and the elderly. Nurses are some of the most disciplined, ethical, and patriotic workers we have. They deserve a leader who matches that. The nurses deserve a leader who acknowledges progress so government is incentivized to do more. The nurses deserve a leader who lobby with data, not just with emotion. The nurses deserve a leader who speak for the nurses who stayed, not just for those who left. If the current president cannot do that, then the nurses would be wise to see that their interest was not well represented and seek a new leader. Because representation is not about you. It is about the nurses. Politics Jamaica. Politics matter Jamaica. Truth over tribe every time. Nurses deserve a leader who fights for them, not one who embarrasses them. Nurses deserve a leader who acknowledges progress and lobby for more. That is representation. Blueberry, good evening to you. Hospitals and health clinics, many nurses will tell you that their life has improved under this administration. Wholeness-led Jamaica Labour Party government. Well, I'm going to have to jump over to TikTok. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to close this video, jump over to TikTok, and come right back, okay? Who do I have in the chat? Nature Speaks Music. Thank you. I didn't vote in the last election, but the next I will, and working to bring out many. Well, that's great. Thank you. Remember to share the channel and like the page here. Catch you over YouTube. I'm going to go there live now. Coming right back to TikTok with the TikTok show. All right. Thank you so much. Later.